Breaking news, mass shooting at Georgia High School leaves 4 dead. Winder, Georgia. CNN, 14-year-old student, Colt Gray, has been identified as the suspect in a deadly mass shooting at Apalachee High School in Winder, Georgia, according to Georgia Bureau of Investigation Director Chris Hosey. Gray, a student at the school, will face murder charges and will be prosecuted as an adult, Hosey stated at a news conference held this afternoon. The tragic incident resulted in the deaths of 2 teachers and 2 students, while 9 others were injured and transported to nearby hospitals. The shooting sent the school into chaos, with students and staff rushing for safety as schools throughout Barrow County were placed on lockdown. Desperate parents scrambled to get information about their children. Authorities confirmed the first call reporting an active shooter came in at 10:20 a.m. Eastern Time. Law enforcement officials also revealed that the high school had received a prior phone threat earlier in the day. This incident is part of a larger pattern of violence in the United States, where there have been at least 385 mass shootings so far this year, according to the Gun Violence Archive. This equates to an average of more than 1.5 mass shootings per day.
My heart was kind of racing. I didn't even have my phone or anything, so I couldn't talk to my mom. I was just kind of scared.
Calls came in, unconfirmed reports of an active shooter about 10:23 this morning in Winder, Georgia, 45 minutes northeast of Atlanta, and that shooting was later verified. We don't know exactly how many victims there were on the scene, but very early on, a source at the local hospital who was unauthorized to speak to the media but had knowledge of the situation told me that Piedmont Regional Hospital in the Athens-Clarke County area, Trauma 1 hospital, the largest in North Georgia, was receiving gunshot victims from this shooting scene. And we saw this all sort of unfold in front of our eyes, a very fluid scene, students out there on the track and field at one point forming a prayer circle, it seemed, from the aerial view. We saw at least one medical helicopter transporting one victim from the scene there. And as you just mentioned, Phil, we know here in Grady Hospital, which is another Trauma 1 level facility, that one of the victims from this shooting is being transferred over here, to the local hospital in Atlanta. Again, still an active scene, multiple law enforcement agencies on the scene there, including the FBI. They put a social media post out just a short time ago saying that they're helping local law enforcement agencies there with the situation. It is still very active, though. Parents still picking up students. It was within the last hour that the school system there in Barrow County notified parents of those students that they were allowed to be picked up from the school. And just the aerial video that we saw, Phil, is just chilling and sobering as a parent to see those images reminiscent of past school shootings, places like Columbine, where we saw masses of students out, really trying to get information. And it's those uncertain moments where we don't know the details, we don't know if this shooter is still on the loose, that really is terrifying. That's not the case right now. We know that one suspect is in custody, so it seems to be at least there's a remedy in that, a sigh of relief, sort of, for the community there that's dealing with this, but still very much so a terrifying situation with school just weeks underway.
The shooter was on the radar of law enforcement, federal law enforcement, in 2023. What more could have been done there?
I'm not sure anything more could have been done. Tips came in from the public. That's people on the internet who saw this threat to shoot up a school coming from a handle on a gaming website. They then sent that to an FBI threat line. They then forward that to Jackson County Sheriff in Georgia. And Jackson County does not drop the ball. They send investigators out. They go to the house. They ask, is there somebody here that uses that computer? Yes, we have a son. Are there guns in the house? Yes, there are, but they're locked away and he doesn't have access to them. They question a 13-year-old boy who turns out to be our shooter a year later, and he says, that wasn't me. Somebody else must have done that threat to make it look like me. So they end up closing the case because probably not prosecutable. He's 13 years old. They even notify the local school district. But when they move from Jackson County to Barrow County, that information, we don't know whether that followed the Jackson County school to the Barrow County school. It's unlikely.
We're currently at the Apalachee High School in Georgia, where a school shooting occurred today, resulting for death. Local authorities and FBI are investigating, and they are doing an excellent job. It is very clear how much they care, and they're really doing their best during this tough time. We have come here to speak with journalists and FBI to inform them about the important documentary titled Impact. Currently, the Georgia Bureau of Investigation is conducting this investigation, and we had a chance to speak with them and share the information about the Impact documentary. In fact, this investigative documentary can help a lot of people, and we recommend that everyone pay attention to it and find time to watch it. It only takes 8 hours to help prevent school shooting and avoid tragedy. And we consider it is our duty to collaborate on such a serious matter, and we will do everything we can to help.